Dan Schneider is suing the producers of the Quiet on Set docuseries for portraying him as an alleged child sexual abuser. The Drake and Josh creator is taking legal action against the producers of the docuseries Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, which accused him of inappropriate behavior on the sets of his Nickelodeon shows in the 1990s and 2000s. In the legal documents obtained by E! News May 1st, Schneider says the series falsely implies he was a child sex abuser by including him in the documentary alongside Brian Peck, who was sentenced to 16 months in prison on charges stemming from a child sex abuse case involving Drake Bell. Schneider, 58, states he was not complicit in the abuse and, quote, condemned the abuse once it was discovered and, critically, was not a child sexual abuser himself. In the filing, Schneider's lawyers call the documentary a, quote, hit job against the producer, who created series including The Amanda Show, Zoe 101, iCarly, and Victorious before exiting the network in 2018. According to the lawsuit, Quiet on Set defamed him while pursuing, quote, clickbait, ratings, and views, or simply put, money. Following the filing, Schneider says in a statement to E! News that he had no choice but to take legal action against the production companies for insinuating he was involved in or facilitated horrific crimes. He adds, "There is no doubt that I was sometimes a bad leader. I am sincerely apologetic and regretful for that behavior, and I will continue to take accountability for it. I have no objection to anyone highlighting my failures as a boss, but it is wrong to mislead millions of people to the false conclusion that I was in any way involved in heinous acts like those committed by child predators." Schneider continues, "I owe it to myself, my family, and the many wonderful people involved in making these shows to set the record straight." Dan previously addressed Quiet on Set, issuing an apology after some former child actors detailed times they felt uncomfortable on set or were made to wear inappropriate costumes. He said in a YouTube video March 19th,
"Watching over the past 2 nights was very difficult, me facing my past behaviors, some of which are embarrassing and that I regret, and I definitely owe some people a pretty strong apology. Every one of those jokes was written for a kid audience because kids thought they were funny and only funny, okay? Now we have some adults looking back at them 20 years later through their lens, and they're looking at them and they're saying, oh, I don't think that's appropriate for a kid show. And I have no problem with that. If that's how anyone feels, let's cut those jokes out of the show. We had executives in LA. We had executives in New York.
So two coasts.
Two coasts
okay.
of approval, coasts. Yes. And by the way, approval at every stage, really.
Okay.
And I'm talking about wardrobe. I'm talking about makeup, sound, sets, dialogue, jokes, everything. And we're also shooting it in front of all sorts of adults and caregivers and the set teacher and the families. Everybody's watching it. And if anybody had said anything, hey, we don't like that, that's not appropriate, then it would have been cut out.
E! News has reached out to Investigation Discovery for comment on the lawsuit on behalf of Nickelodeon, Warner Brothers Discovery, Maxine Productions, and Sony Pictures Television, but hasn't heard back.